Hello. I just had the urge to make a video on a couple of topics. It's been bugging me for some time, so I'll just make the video and see what happens. First of all, actually there's a number of things, so I'll start with something that I find symptomatic of the feminist disaster that has struck the Western world. Hearts. Now, when the military of my country and the United States was hijacked in around, say, the year 2002, 2003, and both armies were used to invade and occupy countries in the Middle East, all of a sudden everyone who had ever put on a uniform ever was suddenly a hero. So the idea was to mask what was essentially a complete and utter crime with some veil of heroism. Everyone saw it at the time, and it was unilaterally rejected, but the people who were doing it kept pushing this message on and on and on, and no one had a platform equivalent to the mainstream media to reject it with, so it carried on. And it's evolved into a sickening, disgraceful mess now, whereby it's evolved into hearts being used everywhere. So the idea was, it's a corruption of language. It's a corruption of word use. So a hero, right, is someone who risks their life specifically to save someone else. That's heroism. There is no other definition for heroism at all, ever. A doctor is not a hero. Alright? So when we had this COVID disaster that was manufactured, and we had all the doctors and nurses are suddenly heroes, that was nonsense. They weren't heroes. They were just doing their jobs. A soldier is not a hero unless they go over and above their duty and the expectations that are put upon them, and they risk their lives specifically to save someone, either a civilian or a fellow soldier. That's heroism. Putting on a uniform does not make a person a hero. There's no burden of heroism put upon that person if they put on a uniform. With the COVID example, you might say, well, these people were working in an environment which made them very prone to, risking themselves being exposed to this virus. Everyone was exposed to the virus. It was minimally lethal, and I don't know how to go on about this, really. What you saw during COVID was one of the biggest lying campaigns I've ever seen. It was enormous. It was a bigger lying campaign than what was done, like I say, when our militaries were hijacked. So the lying is how these people operate. So now it's morphed into love everywhere. Everything's love this and love that, and there's hearts everywhere. There's all this nonsense. Oh look, we've got a little heart shape with our hands. It's disgusting. The commodification of love, the politicization of love. What a joke. What a joke. And of course, women who generally want to see the best in things around them, and that's true generally. Yes, you might get the occasional cynical woman, but generally women tend to prefer things to be in a harmonious situation. Men are a little bit more prone to rejecting stuff when it doesn't actually add up. Women are like, oh no, isn't it lovely how it's all love? Oh, how we must love one another. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, it's love this. Oh, look at that pretty heart. Oh, how lovely. Oh, how darling. None of those sentiments are what you'd expect a man to say. Okay? That's why they're being used. It's targeting women to try and gloss over the poisonous rot that's infected our society. These guys are targeting women with their communications. That's why you see hearts everywhere. Every business suddenly has a heart all over it. Here's another point. And as I make more videos on this in the future, my points will become clearer. Tentacles. Alright? The idea of a many-tentacled organisation spreading its influence all over the world. That is not a new idea. Not a new idea at all. That visual idea or picture was presented first. The example I'm thinking of is one that seems like about 100 years old. And the idea of a many-tentacled operation or organisation with tentacles in all the little elements of the world, controlling things from behind the scenes, that's not a new idea. But because the people who have decided they're going to try to use lying to control the world want people to subtly accept the idea of such a thing, to the point where you've got numbnuts morons now getting tattoos of tentacles, like octopus tentacles, on their bodies, not even thinking why. Oh, the person in the tattoo shop said it looked really cool, so I'll get a tattoo of a tentacle on myself, along with a tattoo of an all-seeing eye of Horus, and I've got all my Illuminati symbolism all under one roof. Yeah? These people are not getting tattoos because the tattoos mean something, because they absolutely have to remember something in their lives. They really, really want that tattoo. No, they are getting tattoos merely because everyone else is getting them. And that's the problem. You see, if you want to inculcate a mass group of people into doing something, right, psychologically, then you try to get them to all go through the same thing. Remember this stupid little ice bucket challenge? That's what it was about. The idea was to get as many people to do this idiotic thing as possible as a rite of passage between an old way of thinking and a new one. These subtle psychological ploys are being played out all around you all the time. That's how these people function. They are liars. They are manipulators. That's all they do. They never ever think about doing things in a legitimate way. They always and only think about doing things in a poisonous, underhanded, spiteful, manipulative way. That's how they work. And that's not the kind of world that anyone wants. So eventually we're going to have to stand up against this monster, and it won't be that long before we do. So yeah, tentacles and the symbolism. Years ago, I played a computer game called Day of the Tentacle. It was a cartoon-like animated, first-person, move around, pick things up and use things kind of game. I didn't think about it at the time, but that was most likely in some way influenced by the people who wanted that kind of imagery to be in the psyche of people 20 years or so before they made their move at the turn of the millennium and actually decided to try and produce this new world nonsense that they've tried to produce. If you happen to remember that game or look back at it, it's quite clear. And the fact that that game centers around the historical events surrounding the formation of the United States, well, it stands to reason. These people were trying to interfere subliminally with people's understandings of the nature of their own nation. Yes, in some ways the game is not innocuous. Okay, fine. You could say, well, That's just coincidence that someone used a tentacle. Okay, fine, whatever. Think what you like. But now if you look all around us with all of these silly references to octopuses and tentacles, I mean, now you've got an energy company in the UK, right, called Octopus Energy, with a little fluffy, cutesy-wootsy little octopus as their symbol. Oh, really? Oh, how nice. So that they're going to try and soften people's psyches to the idea of some sort of organisation with many tentacles controlling everything. It's disgusting. And all these soft toys now, little octopuses you get everywhere, all of a sudden inexplicably appeared on the market. No, they were produced and put onto the market in their millions to try to subliminally soften people's attitudes towards that kind of thing. People are really, unfortunately, I think most people really, if they stop for 5 minutes and think about it, they see what's going on. They really do. Again, this whole tattoo thing, that I don't have any tattoos. I'm not saying I would never get a tattoo, but I have no desire to get a tattoo. And maybe some people who really, truly, definitely want to get a tattoo, yeah, why? Well, why not? Okay, fine. But if you engender a situation whereby there are tattoo shops on every single street corner, in every town in the country, you're going to create a situation where people are tattooing themselves all day, every day. And most people who get tattoos have no... I bet you 90% of people who go into tattoo shops go, I don't know what I need to get. And the tattoo artist goes, oh, okay, well, I've got a book here of all these examples, and it'll be full of satanic imagery. Oh, well, yeah, really? Oh, I like that. I'll have a satanic logo of this type, yeah. Oh, and then they'll have other things which are completely meaningless. Yeah, maybe like family references. Fine. Why tattoo that stuff on yourself? No one's ever done that in the history of anything. They're just excuses to have a tattoo because everyone's being led to do these things which are a sort of rite of passage towards nonsense. Do you accept the poisonous way that things are in the world? Go and get a senseless, pointless tattoo. Like I say, if someone really wants to get a tattoo and it's incredibly poignant and meaningful to them, that's different. But just wandering in off the street and going, oh, I'll get a tattoo because everyone else is getting tattoos, that's just stupid. And that's what's being encouraged. So we've got a whole generation or so of people now, almost head to toe in silly, meaningless, inauthentic tattoos. Why? Because they thought that everyone else was getting it done. And a lot of the tattoos they're getting, without them realizing it, are actually endorsing the New World Order poison that's ruining our entire world. This is what's really going on all day, every day, all around everyone, everywhere. I'm not the only person who can see it. I've watched this happen over the last 20 or so years. And it's a real shame. It will be fixed. But it's just kind of sad that these people have... This is the epitome of their plan. Is to just try to manipulate people as much as possible. But it won't work. All they're doing is taking the mainstay of idiots in society and conditioning them to act more like idiots. Well, that doesn't change the intelligent people from society at all, because the intelligent people in society are just going, oh my goodness, what is this nonsense? And the intelligent people of society are sitting down diligently planning how to fix the problem. So that's why this will be fixed, because the people who are doing this are only ever focusing on the morons of society. That's what they think, that the great numbers of people, oh, we've got them under control. That's not how life works. The intelligent minority will always lead the masses. It's just a shame that we have to wade through this nonsense currently. Anyway, that's kind of a broad video, but it'll do for now.